Hey, my name is Doug and welcome to ThriveCart Pro, where today we are going to be looking at a little feature called joint venture agreements. So if you're in ThriveCart, you can see that under the JV Partners tab, and you can see I've got two contracts there. So first things first, what is a JV contract or JV partner? Well, it's a joint venture partnership. Now, for most of you that have used any platform to distribute a digital product, the question of doing that with a partner is often one of how do I settle up with my partners? We built this digital product, we've probably got an agreement that they will get X percentage of the sales and they'll get X percent of the bumps, etc., etc. But for me, managing that process quickly and efficiently often means you get your end of month reports, you have to export that. Okay, we've got this many sales, then we've got some refunds, and then I need to go and transfer some details there. And as a partner, are they being truthful with the amount that is being owed to you? And do you have clarity on exactly what you're getting? And is that easy to understand? Well, I find that conversation difficult. And if you've used the likes of ClickFunnels or you've used the likes of Stripe or some of the other payment providers, you know that that can be a hassle. ThriveCart, I think, does it in a very simple and easy to use way with our JV partners. So in simple terms, what this does is it allows you to create a contract with you and another party. So I'll do a placeholder here for a video. So I'll give him my partner name. Or choose an existing partner rather, so let's do that. Doug, I've got all the details from my previous partner, but I can put them in there if I so wish. What you can then do is with your agreement, you can determine which products you would like to be available for your particular partnership. So I'll say it is this one and this one, so I can select more than one. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to enter the name of the partnership agreement. Make sure that you do this with your partner, and I'm just going to call this demo contract. I then have the option to choose when the contract begins, so either when the partner immediately accepts, or immediately after they accept rather, or on a specific date. So I'll say immediately after they accept. And how long should it last? I'm going to call this one Q4 2024, this contract, so that I can say that this contract will last until December 31st at the end of Q4 2024. It then handles the payment options for you. Either you can pay them automatically, pay your partner automatically, or you can choose to manually settle outside. Always recommend doing things automatically. So I'll do that. I'll click next, and now here is the fun part. You can determine the percentages paid out to your partners. So I've got my main product, my bumps, and my upsell. I've got two products selected, so I can see that here. And what I can do is I can choose to either apply percentage payouts on all products at an identical rate, or what I can do is I can click custom percentages, and I can then apply them to specific products. So if you have a hero product and you want to give a better rate on that, a preferential rate to your partner, you can set those percentages. But I really like this as a conversation driver as well, because it positions you as someone that understands the rates, what your offer is, what your pipeline looks like. So you can say, on all main products, we're going to do a flat 15% take. On any bump offers, so on the main checkout, you have your little bump offer. Any options for that, I'll do at 20%. And then any upsells, which is my premium ticket that I want to really use this partnership to push forward, we'll increase that perhaps to 25%. And perhaps you may want to put KPIs in conversation with your partner as well. So I'll click save, and that's done. So now what I do is I have on my list of partner agreements, I have my demo contract Q4 2024. Now that's not all, because what we can also do is we can obviously filter these and we can export these contracts, but I can use the second tab, the payouts, to manage my payouts. I can see both upcoming, and I can also look at completed, and I can also filter these by the products themselves, or I can also look for the agreement, the JV partner name or email address. So I have no payout, but if I did, I could see that here. I'll then go to rules, and I would say once you've got all your agreements in place, use rules as your way to keep on the pulse of your agreements. So rules can set notifications on key milestones in your contract. They can apply to specific contracts, or they can apply to all contracts. So you'll see on this rule here, when a date is reached on contract draft JV, send an email notification. So I can edit this existing rule by edit, and I can see that this rule applies not to all agreements, but just one. I can then see that the trigger is when a partner contract reaches a certain date. It could be when it's reaching its expiration, when the contract is accepted, or when it is rejected. So for me, this is reached a certain date. Let's apply the logic of our Q4. So let's say on the demo contract, Q4 2024, when the contract reaches, let's say the second to last week of December, so the 16th of December, I want to be sent an email. So send an email, Doug Digital, and save. There we go. And what I really like about ThriveCart, and you'll see this with any automations in your pricings, is ThriveCart attempts to turn your rules into plain English. So it says when a date is reached or contract, demo contract Q4, reaches the date, send an email notification. I love that. Very, very straightforward. Now, what I can do is I can layer and I can add multiple rules if I so wished. But the other thing that you can do, in much the same way that you can use your existing integrations on product checkout behaviors, you can do that here as well. So what I mean by that is I will select any contract, and I'll say when any contract is accepted, I can send an email, send a webhook, but I can also use my existing integrations that I have with ThriveCart. For me, those integrations are ActiveCampaign, HubSpot, and Slack. But perhaps you have maybe a learning platform. So maybe you have the likes of, what is it called? Like the ThriveCart's, like the Thrive educational platform, or perhaps you've got some educational platform. You could integrate this here as well. But my suggested use cases for how you can use these rules with your integrations is, for example, Slack notifications. So you can get a notification to your internal Teams chat to notify them of those key milestones in a contract. So in this example, I could say, I want to be notified when someone accepts a contract, and I want that to be in in Slack. So new contract accepted. Now, I personally haven't used any placeholders here, i.e. Contract name. So I'll check in on that for you, but nonetheless, it's still very, very helpful to have the ability to send a Slack notification. But I differentiate, I use ActiveCampaign for my sort of customer and e-commerce and lead magnets, and I use HubSpot as my sort of client and partner relationship management, CRM. So for me, I may say, right, someone accepts a contract and then I add them to a list, and that could be active partners list. Very, very helpful. And I've got no list there, but let's say ActiveCampaign. ActiveCampaign, I've got a little bit more flexibility. I can add them to a list, to an automation. I can add an existing tag, or I can add a new tag. So I'll say I'll add them to a customer list for now. Add, apologies, I pressed the wrong button there. But I can see when a contract is accepted, add to list using ActiveCampaign. I love that. Now, final piece here is on your contracts. I've got my list here, and what I can do is I can view the contract info, and this is quite handy because it just gives you a view on that particular agreement. What are the stats relating to that given contract, and it aggregates it across those two, or includes those two products. And what you can also see is you can click on the payouts and it will show me the high level payout data. And I can also click on go to payouts and see exactly, as we saw earlier, what is pending, what is upcoming, etc. And what I will say as a final reference here is on the payouts, you can have your list of automatic payments and those that are manual payouts. And when you have those due, you can click make a manual payment and just check that off. So I hope this has been useful for you. If you have found it useful, let me know. Give the video a thumbs up if you're into all of that cliche. But if you do have any questions about ThriveCart, let me know. One final note is this is on the ThriveCart Pro package. So this is the JV contracts feature. So if you do already have ThriveCart, you'll need to make sure you are using the Pro section. And if you don't already, just make sure that when you are purchasing your lifetime account, that you upgrade to the Thrive Pro account. So I hope this has been useful. I've been Doug, and until next time, ta-ra.